So, leading up to this group, I wasn't sure whether to carry on with the sideways motion of the breath, which we started, or whether to do another one at Chequers. And over the last few days, it just came through quite loud and clear to do another one on Chequers. I'm just not sure how to teach it, because what I'm going to embark on this evening is quite precise, and because and it's quite focused. We're going to work with the genitalia, and we're going to work with the kidneys, the adrenals, the bladder, and also with that the urethra and the penis vagina. They're two separate circuits which have very different energies, but balance each other, and they're both to do with our sexuality and also to do with love. But at Chequers it makes the shape of a chalice, and in the work we've done so far, we've been working with that dynamic of the chalice and of the prayer, and the two sides of the body. There's two sides to the chalice. There's a right hand side, there's a left hand side, and with both these sets of organs there's two sides. Got two kidneys, two adrenals, they come together in the bladder, and then you've got the urethra. And then in the genitalia, you've got two ovaries or two testes, and then they come together, and you've got either the uterus or the prostate, and then that drops down, and you've got either the vagina and penis. So they both have the shape of the chalice. They start off out to the sides, they come in to a central organ, and they drop down. And the ovaries and testes and kidney, or the adrenals more for the urinary tract, they hold the higher energies. And at the tops of the hills at Chequers, at the top of Beacon Hill, the top of Coombe Hill, these are the higher energies. So that relates to the adrenals, to the kidneys, to the ovaries and to the testes. Then as you come down into the middle where Chequers is, this relates much more to the prostate in men, the uterus in women, and the bladder. And then you can drop down, if you're sitting looking forwards from either Chequers or where the del is, there's a cup-shaped valley, and as you drop down into that, that's more the earth energies, and that's the penis vagina, very earth, physical organs. Or going back, if you think of the chalice going back to the pot, we're going to look at pictures of this in a minute so everyone can see this. That is also those organs, the penis vagina going the other way. So with all of those organs, the higher energies are the separate parts. It's the ovaries, the testes, the kidneys and the adrenals. They're the higher energies. They come down into the middle. That's more to do with the heart. So the heart for the genitalia is more the uterus and the prostate. And then coming down into the penis vagina, which is both. It's part of the urinary tract, and it's part of the sexual organs. It's the hara, it's the earth. So it makes the shape of the chalice, and both of these sets of organs are to do with our sexuality. And the kidneys and adrenals and that whole circuit is more a blue, and with the light machines I work with, it's a blue colour, and it's to do with water. It's also strongly to do with our sexuality. The ovaries and the testes, the prostate and the uterus, this has a fire energy. It's a warm red. and then that does go down into the penis vagina, but more the penis vagina is this blue energy. So it kind of, even though people within the sexual organs think of that as one unit, as it changes energies, it moves from the prostate and uterus down into the penis and vagina, and that for me is one of the things that people a bit misunderstand when they're working with the sexual energies, that relationship. So we're going to be working with that, and I know it's quite focused, and kind of asking the energies before, and I just said, well, just take it really easily, really slowly. We may not do it all today because it can be quite focused and hard when you're fairly new to holographic breathing, to be on such a small area of the body and understand the different qualities of it. And as I mentioned before, not only is around Chequers makes a chalice shape, which in the more kind of pagan side of the chalice, often that is thought of as the uterus. And in what was the film, the Da Vinci Code, it was thought of as the female uterus and the giving of life and the holding of that particular energy. And that film came from a book. Who was Mary? Was it Mary Magdalene who was Jesus's wife or girlfriend? Or was it? Yeah, Mary Magdalene. I think it was called Mary and Her Alabaster Flask. And when she escaped from Egypt, she was apparently carrying an alabaster flask or jar, and people think of that as the chalice, that she was taking the chalice, but other people think of it that flask or chalice related to her womb, and she was carrying a baby, and that she was carrying the bloodline of Christ. And this is where we met on that group with Judith, because she was talking about the bloodline carrying on, and apparently Mary Magdalene went to the south of France and it carried on through British and French nobility and royalty. And where we did that group was right next to a royal estate that got buried and was uncovered in a reservoir. But I think it was one of the Henry II, the kings and queens round about the 1200s, they had it, and they sold it to the same sect that carried on the tradition from where Mary Magdalene arrived in south of France. And there's a lot to do with royalty at Chequers, but for me it goes much further back. On Beacon Hill, for me there's always the quality. It feels, even though I've never experienced it before, and I know people talk about it, but I've never experienced it or even entertained it before, it feels Arthurian, King Arthur.
Yeah.
And it feels regal, but it's not as we think of nobility and royalty. It's like a channel that is the right and just spiritual guidance for a country. And for me, that is the quality of the energy that drops in the top of Beacon Hill. And it's not just one energy. You've got in the Knights Round Table, you've got a round table, which for me, that ring at the top of Beacon Hill is a bit like that. It's a bit like a round table. And then the energy is coming in. It's not just one being or one energy. It's 12 or 13. It's like a conference of truly beneficial and wise beings that come in to the top of that hill. So for me, there's something about the chalice and Chequers. and not just that it makes a picture of the chalice, the energies there are of that and of the legends. And I've never really gone into that before. It's just whenever I'm up there, it just feels like that, and it feels like it's representing England or Britain. And its placement on the ridgeway, if you're looking into the cup at Chequers, you've got Beacon, Ivinghoe Beacon is about 8 miles in that direction, and that is the base of the ridgeway. That is the start of it, and it travels, I think, 87 miles to Overton Hill, which is just past Avebury. So, and for me it makes a spine, it's the same as a spine, and Ivinghoe Beacon is the first place. You come to Chequers, that's the second place, which for me is a sacred site. So for me that relates to the pubic centre, which again is the chalice, it's the uterus or the chalice, and the pelvis makes the shape of a chalice. And so today we're going to work with the sexual organs and how they balance and how they become the kundalini and rise in the body. Now I made a picture today, well I started yesterday, and it took me a while because I kept on getting the writing wrong, but I was amazed at how, for me, the picture we got at the minute where the chalice centres around the little dell, for me it's very much a fire energy and earth energy, whereas I depict the energy at Chequers much more to do with the water circuit. And I drew this picture or did it on the internet, and it puts Chequers right at the centre of the site and shows that whole water circuit. So we're going to just look at some pictures of Chequers so people can remind themselves of what it looks like, and so you have something to visualize when we go into it. So I think you have to gather around to look at this. Now I've changed this picture, this first picture, since we last looked at it, and I've included the ancient tracks. Before, just had the ridgeway, which was this to here, to Coombe Hill, then around, down to the Dell, up to Beacon Hill, and then down and away. And this area makes the shape of a prayer, and then this area makes the shape of a cup. And what I've added to it is an ancient track that comes from the church and down and joins the ridgeway here, and then comes up and leaves the ridgeway on the other side and connects to the ridgeway leaving. And can you see how that suddenly makes that incredibly symmetrical? As it wasn't really symmetrical before, but now it makes an almost perfect chalice. The distance from the Dell to Coombe Hill is the exact distance from here to, there's a little gatekeeper's cottage where these two join. That's exactly the same distance. These two, this track here almost exactly mirrors where the ridgeway runs on the other side. Here, this is, no one says it is, but for me this area here was an old village. You walk into that and that's thousands of years of human habitation. It goes back thousands and thousands of years, and that's it. And it's right on top of the hill, but there's water there. It's really boggy, and I think they were able to drain, even though it's on the top of a hill, they were able to drain water out of that area, so that rather than having to go all the way down to the valley. So it makes it much more symmetrical, it much more balances around the Dell where I park there. Now there is that, the ridgeway is the very peak of the hill, it's the top highest point. But when I'm there and when I'm working with the energies there, my energy much more connects to this central point at Chequers and this energy line running down from Chequers. And that always seemed like the central place, and I thought maybe it was just because it was energetically the most central place. But what I did today was I drew the escarpments, the steep sides of the hills, and quite amazingly that changes the whole shape of it, and it actually puts this point at Chequers as the very centre of the site. And so I'm just going to have to go forwards a few. You'll have to look around me, the people who can't see, just as I go.
Bottom left, click. Yeah.
So this is the boundary around Chequers. We can't go in there, and it takes out the whole left-hand side of the site, which is the female side of the site. So it's strange that somebody in authority has taken out the female side of a sacred site and nobody's allowed to go there. This is where we're told the ridgeway is, so everybody's walking that thinking they're walking the ridgeway. Now have a look at this shape, how it's balanced around there. Now we're going to look at what it looks like with the escarpments. So this is the lower edge of where the hill starts rising, and then this is the upper edge. And now that rises very slowly from here up to where the ridgeway was. And at Chequers, because it flattens out when it gets to the top, the ridge is a bit higher here, it gives a different shape. And can you see how that now orientates very much around the centre? Can you see okay there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden that whole side actually orientates around this central, now I call it, for me it's a water energy line, which is to do with the kidneys, is to do with the bladder, the adrenals, the penis, vagina. And the this point on it, which is where the ridge, this is the lowest point of the ridgeway between the two hills, this kind of pink point, that is the highest point on this north axis, because it drops down into the cup-shaped valley this way, and it drops down this way very gently into a U-shaped valley running the other way. So it's the highest point of this energy line and the lowest point of the ridgeway going the other way. So it makes it a very potent place. That is the main centre we're going to be working with today. So obviously we have to do it at a distance because we can't go there. And it was interesting, the lady from the newspaper, she latched onto that point. She was saying, don't you want to go there and work with that one? I said, yeah, I do. So have you asked them? I said, no, I haven't asked them. And you can see that, now the roads around Chequers are suddenly pointing in the right way, that it's very much more north-south pointing, and it just changes the image of the whole thing. So now I'm going to go on and we'll just put in this other line. Can you see how that doesn't seem so central anymore now, where the bell is here and you've got this central line coming in. This is much more a fire and earth energy, and this is much more water energy. And we're going to be working with these 2 points on them today. So we'll carry on through the pictures, it's not to give you information, it's just to give you an image, so that when we're doing the meditations you've got an internal picture, the same way as you would learn anatomy, an inner anatomy, so that it makes it easier to do craniosacral therapy. This is the anatomy of the earth to help you work with earth energies. So that's looking across to Beacon Hill from Coombe Hill, and the centre of the cup is in between them. You've gone. Hold on.
There's 2 fingers to move.
Okay, click
Click.
the wrong bit.
Click, bottom left.
Sorry.
Proper click. Sorry, you don't have to apologise.
There we go. So that's Chequers. See, it's quite flat here. So you've got that centre here, but it's quite flat. It's not a steep escarpment. It drops down very gently and then gets sharper as it goes further down.
How long has it been Chequers?
Pardon?
How long have they been using it for the Prime Minister?
Coming up 100 years.
Not that long then.
Long enough. So that's Beacon Hill and Chequers, and you've got the cup here. And the ridge, you can see the ridge coming to Beacon Hill, going down through Chequers. And there's the ridge. There's the boundary of Chequers. Can't go inside that. There's the other way, looking at Coombe Hill from Beacon Hill. Again, you've got the cup shape in the middle. And there you can see the cup and where Chequers is and where the dell is. Again, that's looking back along Beacon Hill. That's looking forwards a lot. You can see how it's, very like the top of the prayer comes together. It's very steep either side. There's that circle at the front of Beacon Hill. There is the little burial mound, dugout burial mound, and the church at the bottom. There's the church on its own little hillock there. Very likely that was a pagan kind of ceremonial site before it's the church, especially on its own little hill.
Is the Michael Mary line anywhere around there?
I'm absolutely certain it is. This is the line coming from Chequers down towards the pond, and you can see this is at the very centre of a U-shaped valley that's rising up slightly up to Chequers, and then it drops down into the cup-shaped valley, and there's ponds along this line. So not only does it feel like water, probably underground water kind of way travelling along that line as well as the energy. This is looking into the cup, down towards the cup from the dell. That's looking south from the dell. This is where I said that village was. It's an ancient track, but also for me this is where everybody lived for thousands of years. And it's perfectly clear and very bright energy on Coombe Hill, and you walk in there and suddenly it's dark and it feels like there's ghosts at first, but then you realise it's just layer upon layer of experiences of people living there for thousands and thousands of years. There's one of the ancient tracks. Took a while to dig that out. I think that's it, that's the lot. Okay, great, thank you. So, what I think we'll do is just go over just a small bit, just working from the dell and doing the shape of the chalice and prayer, just to get used to being there again. And then we'll start looking at these different qualities, and I really have no idea what way this will go, because I haven't taught this to people before. I know how I experience it, but other people may experience it totally differently. So, I've kind of made a plan of how it could go, but it might go a completely different way. We'll just have to see. So, closing your eyes. And dropping into the holographic breathing. And imagining yourself in the dell, sitting on the ground in the dell, and it's a very earthy, grounded, deep, kind of magical energy in the dell. And if you wish to make some kind of dedication to it, you can dedicate it to higher energies that you're working with, beneficial energies of Chequers, and that it's for the higher good. And you may feel like earth energies in the ground there. It's very magical. And you may feel the energy of the ridgeway coming straight through you. If you're looking down towards the cup, you've got the ridgeway going straight through you there in the dell. Imagine that your energies can extend, and that your right hand, it's as if it can extend up to the top of Beacon Hill. So it's your hands along the ridgeway, and it's becoming the top of Beacon Hill. And your right hand, it's as if it's stretching up or symbolizing the ridgeway opening up onto Coombe Hill. And you can let your arms come out a bit if you feel to, just to feel that. And that goes directly through the heart, and being in the dell, it has that fiery energy, not only of the kind of uterus and the ovaries and the prostate and the testes, which have this fire energy, of the heart. The heart is part of that circuit. And then if you feel your pelvis, it has a much deeper, darker energy. And if you imagine your legs as if they symbolize the energy stretching out along the base of the hills, and they have a much deeper, darker, more grounded energy. You can become aware of the left arm and the left leg relating through Chequers and up to Beacon Hill. And feel the energies there. And grounding in your pelvis, in the dell, and into your legs along the base of the hills. Then slowly letting your energy travel to the right hand side of your body. So it's moving through your leg to the base of Coombe Hill, and through your arms and hands to the top of Coombe Hill. And as it travels from one side of your body to the other, when it gets to the center line, when it gets to your spine, you get this release, or you may feel this release happening up through your spine. Gently doing the holographic breathing, gently allowing that to happen. You can allow yourself to be aware of the right hand side of your body. On Coombe Hill there's two halves to this sacred site, the same way as there's two halves to our body and a center line. Generally, for me anyway, the right hand side has a bit more male quality and the left hand side has a bit more female quality. And certainly in the land there, Coombe Hill has a more male quality and Beacon Hill has a more female quality. Then slowly moving, being aware of your energy more on the left hand side of your body, or slowly coming across to the left hand side of your body and to Beacon Hill, top of Beacon Hill and the base of Beacon Hill, and notice as it goes across your center line from one side to the other, the spine releases. It releases up into the higher energies, into the face and into the head. And you can be aware of this in your face and in your head. Become aware of the left hand side of your face, the left hand side of your head and the left hand side of your brain, relating more to the left hand side of this sacred site. You can let that breathe, you can let that become more alive. And then slowly moving your awareness to the right hand side of your face and cranium and brain, and notice the energy doesn't instantly go across, it comes to the middle and it lights up the whole brain stem, the corpus callosum between the two halves of the brain. It lights up the center line and then comes to the other side of the face, of the brain, and there's this release of the center line as it crosses one side to the other. And then you can just be in the right hand side of your brain, the right hand side of your face for a while. And then start allowing your awareness, your energy to move across to the left hand side. And notice it doesn't just do that, it comes to a focus in the brain stem and the center of the brain, and then releases through this fairly small area into the other side of the brain, into the other side of the cranium, the other side of the face. And as it does so, there's a release through the spine and the cervical vertebrae. Being aware of the right hand side of the face and cranium and brain and the whole right hand side of your body and the whole right hand side of this sacred site at Chequers. And then slowly moving across to the left hand side, and as it does it comes to the center line through your whole body, through your face, through your brain, through your cranium. And there's a release, there's a light. The spine may start adjusting, the spine may start correcting. And breathe gently with the holographic breathing. And then being aware of your whole body, the energies on both sides feeding each other. Through the whole body, through the neck, through the face, through the brain. Gently breathing. And then gently allowing yourself to come back. So now we're going to start working with the genitalia and also the urinary tract and adrenals. I think I noticed the healing power. I mean, I knew it in myself and worked with it myself, but I was working at a health place for a while, and it was quite a wealthy, for wealthy people, and I would get a lot of women who had gone into menopause very early, and they were quite business orientated, and they just seemed quite stressed to me, and always when I worked on the kidneys and adrenals they were wasted, and that seemed to be what was depleting the uterus and the ovaries and the genitalia, that there was a huge relationship between the kidneys and adrenals, or that whole circuit, and the ovaries and the uterus and the whole kind of genitalia there. And because I knew those two circuits, I'd work with that. And after a while I just started getting more and more women, and also working with women who wanted to give birth or were pregnant, things to help with fertility and that whole side of things. So, and I work with it a lot in sessions, just as a base part of people's energy, balancing those two circuits along with the other circuits, and I use the light machines to do that I've developed with the different colours. So we're going to start working with that. Now, I know how it works for me, but really, however you experience it in your own body, let that be okay, rather than just thinking what Martin is saying is correct, because it can easily be totally different for someone else, and whatever your experience is, it's good to pay a bit of attention to what I'm saying. But if you experience something totally different, that is absolutely fine, and definitely in the sense of working with the energies at Chequers, because different people would pick up and work with those energies or be aware of in completely different ways to how I particularly have experienced it. And we're going to start off with, again, just visualizing being in the dell with the energies of the ridgeway going straight through it. And we'll just start, and I'll talk you into it, and we'll just see how it goes. So closing your eyes and dropping into the holographic breathing. Being aware of sitting into the qualities of the energies of the down, this very earthy, magical quality there, connected to deep, dark, rich earth, and also this high, bright energy of the ridgeway travelling through the down. And being aware of your left arm signifying the ridgeway travelling up to Beacon Hill, your right arm signifying the ridgeway going up to Coombe Hill, your left leg signifying the base of Beacon Hill, and your right leg signifying the base of Coombe Hill. You're nicely grounded into the earth there. And these two sides are talking to each other. The male and female energies from these two hills are communicating and balancing across. And that is happening in your own energies, your two halves of your body. The bit of energy will flow one way across, then it will flow back the other way, and also through your neck, through your head, cranium, face, through your whole body. The two sides. Just allow them to communicate, allow the energies to travel, just slowly, however they want, back and forth. And as they cross the center line, notice how it ignites this vertical energy that travels up the spine and down the spine. And we're now going to become a little bit more focused, but however you go with this is fine. Becoming aware of your genitalia. And to start off with, for the women, becoming aware of your ovaries. Now, if anybody's had any operations in that area or anything like that, even if the organ is not even there anymore, there's still the energy of those organs there. And for the men, the testes and the left ovary or testy relating to Beacon Hill, and the right testy or ovary relating to Coombe Hill. And you've got the fallopian tubes travelling along the ridgeway, or I'm not sure the name of the tubes in the men, but whatever those tubes are, travelling along the ridgeway. And they relate to the higher energies. They relate to wisdom. That's why it was interesting for me that this energy coming in through the top of Beacon Hill had such a wise quality to it. The ovaries and testes are the higher energies for the genitalia and have very wise quality, transcendent quality. This is where life created. Being aware of your left testy or right ovary and Beacon Hill. Letting the energy travel into that half of your genitalia. So we're quite focused. It may feel like the whole right hand side of your body. However you experience it, that is fine. Try not to be too focused, try more to be aware, so it's an open quality rather than a closed quality. And then slowly let the energies move from the left testicle or ovary to the right testicle or ovary, just very slowly moving across. And notice as it comes to the center line, it ignites a prostate, it ignites a uterus, it ignites the penis or vagina, and then travels across to the other side, to the right ovary or testicle. And be aware of that half of your genitalia. And you might find it has quite a warm, fiery quality. You may feel it affecting your heart. The heart is in the same circuit, it's part of this fiery energy. The hara is part of this fiery energy, and the small intestines are part of this fiery energy. It's a fire circuit. Being aware of the right hand testicle, the right hand ovary, and also the right hand side of the body. And as this rises through the body, gently doing holographic breathing, you might feel this energy rising through the body, and you may feel a pulsing in the eyes or through the nasal passageways. This is where it relates to in the face, is the chin, the nasal passageways, and also the eyes and the sphenoid behind the eyes. It's the same fiery red energy. And moving from the right hand of the genitalia into the middle. Notice as you get there, the uterus or prostate light up. There's a central line of energy rises in the body, and it also releases down through the vagina or penis. But notice as it goes down through the penis or vagina, it's a slightly different quality. It's not so much the fire energy anymore. And then moving across to the left hand testicle or ovary, still being at Chequers, allowing this site to be an energetic map and physical map, and also healer, that your connection to the earth connects to that same energy in the earth and can balance and heal. And then slowly working you back to the center. Notice the uterus and prostate light up, and notice it dropping down through the penis or vagina. Notice much more grounded, may have a darker quality. The penis and vagina dropping down into the valley in front of you. The deep earth. This is the ground. This is the way our body's earth is, through the penis and vagina. So much of our psyche has been taken up. How this energy is used in advertising and different things. It's really good to relate this energy to the earth and feel the natural qualities of it in the earth. Penis and vagina, this energy dropping down into the valley in front and healing. Notice how this grounds your whole energies and starts grounding this fire energy through the penis, through the vagina. They're deep, grounded organs. And come up into the prostate or the uterus, which is where you are at this central part of Chequers. It's more fiery. You move out to the tops of the hills or the testicles and ovaries. It's also this warm fire energy. So just letting the energies move through that whole system. Allow the penis, vagina to give it a really nice grounding down into the valley. Remember holographic breathing. This gives you the link into your body and into the earth at Chequers. Just let that whole system ground itself, earth itself, communicate with this shape of the chalice at Chequers, with the energies of the earth at Chequers. Breathe very gently with the holographic breathing. Being with that. Just gently being with that. Now we're going to change, keeping your eyes closed. What I want you to do, you don't have to physically turn round, but imagine yourself turning round in the dell. So you're facing the other way. You're now looking down the stem of the chalice. And you may feel this connecting again. This is the earth, it's the ground. You may feel it connecting to the penis, vagina. You may feel the whole energy become much darker, much more grounded. So it connects to your legs. And this connects to the earth circuit. For me, it may be totally different for you, but for me, this connects to the earth circuit, which is a bit the sit bones the heels of the hands and the feet. It also relates to the penis vagina, and it also brings you into a bit the kidneys and adrenals and bladder, because now the top of the chalice is behind you and relating to your back. So suddenly it's relating to the kidneys, the adrenals, but also the lower part of the shoulder blades and inside edge of the shoulder blades are to do with this deep earth circuit. So the top of the chalice, the cup of the chalice, is behind you and relating to your back, and you're more looking down the stem, and there's a much more grounded quality as you look down the stem. You may feel your legs much darker and the energy traveling down through your body. Notice how the fire energy is no longer so prevalent, and that the heels don't so much relate to the ovaries and testes anymore. They more relate to the back of the body and the kidneys, adrenals, shoulder blades. Much more grounded. Your legs are connected to the stem of the chalice. Relax the back of the neck. Relax the back of the head, and also you may feel the penis, vagina really grounding down, becoming strong earth for your whole body. Energetically, this is a very important earthing, grounding and physical organ, as well as sexual. It energetically helps us earth. And breathe gently with the holographic breathing. However that feels to you, that is fine. And gently allowing yourself to come back. Okay. So good. Dropping into the holographic breathing. And we'll continue where we left off. So you're sitting in the dell, looking south, down the stem of the chalice. The hills are behind you. Notice this has quite, for a lot of people, a very grounded, earthy quality. You may feel your pelvis much more strongly. You may feel your sit bones connected to the earth much more strongly. And these hills, now Coombe Hill is on the left hand side of your body behind you, and Beacon Hill is on the right hand side of your body behind you. And the lower part and also the upper outside edge of the shoulder blades also relate to this deep dark quality. And the occiput at the back of the head and the sides of the jaw has this very grounded quality. You may not all feel that, but that is the sensation I feel when I'm looking south from the dell. Breathe gently with the holographic breathing. becoming used to that. The two sides of your body connecting to a central line of the chalice. Now, moving to that energy center just next to the checkers there. Notice the quality may change. And there's an energy line, you're still facing south, there's an energy line going straight down. This is the very center of the U-shaped valley going south. And there's some kind of underground water going down there. There's two ponds. The bottom pond, as it's leaving Chequers, is a very strong earth. For me, this strongly relates to the bladder and to the penis and vagina. You may feel a cooler quality to it. You may feel a blue quality to it. You may feel the penis and vagina earthing quite strongly here. For me, this connects very much to the whole urinary tract, and that the two tops of the hills behind relate to the kidneys and the adrenals. So whatever you're feeling there, that is fine. But for me, this has a very different quality. Very electric blue quality. So this has become quite a stressed circuit for people, the adrenals and the kidneys. You may feel the kidneys and adrenals releasing, travelling up through the spine, up through the face, up through the head. You may feel this relating to the cheekbones and the forehead, frontal bone, which are also this blue, electric, water energy. However you're experiencing it, whatever you're experiencing is fine. And then where you're sitting, it's connecting to the earth, but notice, for me anyway, it seems to relate to the bladder. And then dropping down the stem to the penis vagina. Not many people think of the penis vagina as a different energy to the genitalia, but for me it is. It has a more blue, strong watercolor. And breathe gently with the holographic breathing. If you're feeling those things, allowing the penis and vagina to relax and release, and the bladder to relax and release. Once this is all grounding and earthing, connecting to the earth, then this clears the way for the kidneys and adrenals to release and earth down through the bladder, through the penis and vagina. You may feel pulses in the adrenals, in the kidneys as they release. Quite often this energy has been rising, but as the penis, vagina and bladder ground, then it gives a chance for the kidneys to fire downwards and the adrenals to fire downwards into earth. It's a bit like having the downpipe unblocked so the energy can descend. Just let whatever releases need to happen there, relating it to where you are sitting on this sacred site, the two hills relating to your back and maybe the kidneys and adrenals, where you're sitting maybe relating to the bladder, the underground river and ponds relating to the penis and vagina. Let it earth, let it connect with the earth and the energies of the earth. Relax the neck, relax the head, so it may start grounding and earthing this circuit. Penis, vagina, as the energies rise from this circuit, from the midline, from the penis, vagina and the bladder. This is the center line. Now how some Asians draw a line up the center of their forehead. This penis, vagina relates exactly to that energy line on the forehead. Also to the cheekbones, the inside of the cheekbones where they're connecting to the nose. Collarbones, the inside face of the collarbones. And breathe gently with the holographic breathing. Letting those organs ground. They may also release upwards through the face, through the cranium. They may balance from side to side. You can be aware the energy in your left kidney and adrenal relating to Comb Hill. Just let it build up on the left for a while. Notice what happens there. Notice it becomes that area with the attention starts unwinding and releasing and becoming energized. Just let that, the left hand kidney, the left hand adrenal, just have your awareness there and backing up onto Comb Hill. And slowly start allowing the energy to travel to the other side, and as it does that, notice it also goes down and forwards into the bladder, into the penis, vagina. The center line lights up, and then into the right hand kidney and adrenal. Clears those tracks. And as it travels from one side to the other, you may feel a release through the spine and up through the head. Releases the Kundalini. As it moves from one side to the other, the Kundalini goes off, doing it at your own pace. This is a good way of releasing and balancing those organs. You just sit in one side for a while. Slowly travel across to the other, and as you travel across it, releases through the center line and it releases through the bladder and penis, vagina, which are on the center line. And if you slowly turn around, now Beacon Hill's on the left, Combe Hills on the right, the cup-shaped valley becomes the earth. And this, you're still at the highest point, so the underground river's running straight forwards now and down into the cup-shaped valley. And what happens is a bit of a plateau then. It comes off the plateau and it goes into a very steep ravine directly on this centre line going forwards down into the valley, which relates to the penis and vagina. And also you may feel it warm up as you turn round. It's no longer just the water circuit, but also the heart. It's also the ovaries and testes, also the uterus and prostate. You may feel it's not just water. It's a combination of these two circuits. And because you're facing forwards to the hills are relating to the front of your body. And the testes and the ovaries, the uterus and the prostate. So suddenly it becomes both sets of organs and they can balance back and forth however you feel to. I may be going a bit fast. Whatever is, allowing it to be. And breathe. Turning round brings you more into the front of your body, more into the fire circuit, but the water circuit is still there because this is intrinsically the water circuit where we're sitting. Breathe gently. Then bringing your hands up, making shape of the chalice, your arms up, hands up, and breathe. So if you need to open your eyes and see what I'm doing, you can do it either with the hands together or making larger, so your body is the chalice. So very female, the energy coming down two sides into the center from the heavens, like receiving the heavenly energies. And breathe gently with the holographic breathing. So once you've got it, you can allow your eyes to close. You've got two sides, heavenly energy coming in and grounding through your body and grounding through those organs. Those organs are like little chalices. And then bringing the hands together, making the prayer, which is like Beacon Hill. Notice changes from the energy coming down to the energy pointing up, and you may feel the energy shifting inside your body as it changes one to the other. And again, you may feel this releasing on the center line. You may feel an energy traveling up through your body, through your face, through your brain. And breathe gently with the holographic breathing. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing with the hands in the prayer shape. Same shape as Beacon Hill. Rising the arms up into the chalice shape. Breathing gently with the holographic breathing. You may feel a release through the center line and up through your head. Bring the hands together in the prayer again. Breathing gently with the holographic breathing. You can bring your hands down. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing. Sending a thank you to the earth. Thank you to this sacred site at Chequers. And this bit of land we're on here at Lindsay's. The energies here. Sending a thank you to the higher energies and the higher self and the beneficial energies. And sending a thank you to yourself. Allowing the energies to go off for love and healing to the earth. For love and healing to the energies here at Lindsay's, the energies at Chequers, the earth. Going off for love and healing to the higher self and the beneficial energies. For love and healing. Letting the energies go off for love and healing to all sentient beings. You are a sentient being, allowing yourself to be loved and healed. Okay, and gently allowing yourself to come back. So in holographic breathing, there's a gentle motion of the jaw. Jaw opens on the in-breath, closes on the out-breath, and it's a small motion. And people find their own amount, and it varies over a period of time. But it's not big, maybe 3 or 4 millimeters, quarter of an inch, sometimes less. And on the same time as you're doing that, the lips are closed all of the time, and the upper surface of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and as much as feels comfortable. And quite often when people are learning, and a bit later, people are used to opening the jaw and the lips open at the same time. So the lips open, or they open the jaw and the tongue comes off the roof of the mouth. But there's an innate ability, probably from suckling, that the lips can stay sealed, not tense, in a relaxed way, that they can stay closed in a relaxed way and the jaw can move, and the tongue can have a relaxed and soft seal to the roof of the mouth as the jaw moves. I'll just demonstrate so people can see that it really is a very subtle movement of the jaw. So I'll just do just for a few moments. So and very quickly you drop into an alternative state, kind of a shamanistic, very relaxed place. So we're going to go through some exercises, but this time with our eyes open. First of all, to get that seal on the lips, notice you can kind of purse your lips. You can, it goes in here, and the lips stay closed. Try that a few times. You can drop the jaw and the lips stay closed. And now also put the tongue on the roof of the mouth and pull the jaw down. And notice it's like you get a suction with the tongue as the jaw drops down. So you can make a seal, and that is very similar to what babies do. Their lips seal around the nipple in a relaxed way, and the tongue seals the nipple to the roof of the mouth. So we can make a seal, a natural ability to making seal. But now doing that in a very relaxed way with a much smaller motion of the jaw. So the lips are relaxed with a light seal, the flat of the tongue on the roof of the mouth with a very relaxed seal, and now just in a small way, or however big, opening the jaw. The lips stay sealed, the tongue stays on the roof of the mouth, the jaw closes, the lips stay sealed, the tongue stays on the roof of the mouth. Now make that movement a bit smaller. And now it's a bit like a pump. Notice as you're opening the jaw, it's natural to breathe in through your nose. As your jaw drops down, it's like a little pump. It brings the air in through the nose. Then as the jaw rises, it's like a pump. The breath comes out through the nose. So just being with that, and make the movement smaller. The jaw opens, you breathe in through the nose. The jaw closes, you breathe out through the nose. The tongue stays on the roof of the mouth. The lips stay closed with a very light seal. And now turning that round, so rather than the focus being on the jaw, you change the emphasis. Be aware of the breath coming in through your nose, and as the breath comes in, the jaw gently opens. Then as the breath comes out, the jaw gently closes, and notice how that takes the pressure away from the jaw. It becomes much more relaxed when you have the emphasis on the breath. So as you're breathing in, the jaw gently opening, the lips still have this very natural light seal, the tongue has a very natural light seal. Then as you breathe out, the jaw naturally closes. And notice there's a lot of people already closing their eyes and going into an altered state. Notice you start feeling very relaxed, and it's hard to keep your eyes open. You're drifting into a different state. As you breathe in, the jaw naturally opens with it. As you breathe out, the jaw naturally closes. And smaller, slower motion of the jaw, the lips stay relaxed and closed, the tongue stays on the roof of the mouth. Relax the back of the neck, relax the back of the head. Notice it gets harder and harder to actually do it and keep the eyes open because you're drifting into a different state of consciousness. And it's good to relax the back of the neck and back of the head because a lot of the energy is coming through there. Now letting the eyes close, and if you want, let the eyes close. Just naturally being with that. As you breathe in, the jaw is gently opening. As you breathe out, the jaw gently closing. Notice how natural that feels. You get these waves of energy, waves of relaxation moving through your body. Very soft, relaxed seal in the lips, very soft, relaxed seal in the tongue. It's the upper surface of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. The tip of the tongue is close to or touching the front teeth. Maybe half an inch or an inch of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. The more you do, the more of the tongue naturally starts covering the roof of the mouth. But to start off with, whatever feels most comfortable. Notice you go into this place that's halfway between being awake and being asleep. It's like the dream state. It's a very shamanistic space. It feels very natural. Relax the throat. As you breathe in, the chest is opening, the jaw is opening. As you breathe out, the chest is closing, the jaw is closing. As you breathe in, the abdomen is opening, the jaw is opening. As you breathe out, the abdomen is closing, the jaw is closing. You may be able to feel it right down into the pelvis. So breathing in, the pelvis is opening, the jaw opening. As you breathe out, the pelvis closing, the jaw closing. But also notice in a very subtle way, the whole face has started to breathe. This gentle motion of the jaw connects through every cell, through every part of us, and it especially connects up through the face, through the brain, through the cranium, through the neck, through the throat, connects it to the rest of the body. And this whole area that wasn't really breathing so much before, in a very subtle way starts to open and close with the breath. And it's not a physical thing you're aiming for, it's very subtle. The more subtle you do it, the stronger, more profound the experience is. And as the jaw closes, it's okay for the teeth to touch, but they just float together. There's no pressure, they're not resting and pressing together. They may just bounce around, gently touching a tiny bit. Or the jaw can just be slightly separate as you breathe out. Breathing in, the jaw gently opens with the breath. Breathing out, the jaw relaxes closed. It relaxes open and it relaxes closed. You drop into a deep, shamanistic, alternative space, a channel. But it's your own channel, it's you, your energies, connecting with the earth, connecting with the higher self, which are reflections of you, very resourceful, very nutritious on all levels. Okay. And gently allowing yourself to come back.